5933 Hotel, Fort Wayne Tower, wind 070 cleared for takeoff. Have a safe flight.
We are off on our journey.
Biblical Wars, Part 1. We are going to jump in and take a glimpse at the end-time wars spelled out in the Bible. Please follow me in this video and the upcoming ones in this series. It is very important for you to have an understanding as to what will happen in this world as it comes to an end. Just look around and you can see that we are in the end-time events. Are we the last generation? At my age, will I personally be affected by those end-time events? Very little. But look out, your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren will likely be very involved. Why study and understand these wars? 1. These wars are listed in the Bible and therefore will happen. 2. The events of the end times are rapidly advancing since Israel became a nation in 1948. 3. If you are a true born-again believer, you can follow God's plan and look forward to spending eternity with Him. As will be mentioned later, you will be a participant in the rapture. 4. For believers who have family members, relatives, and friends who do not know Jesus, this information will help you share Christ with them. There is a sense of urgency. 5. For non-believers, this is a reality check. God has a limited time frame for people to accept His Son Jesus. These wars give us insight into this time frame. 6. Those who say no to Jesus will spend eternity in hell. 7. Those who accept Jesus just prior to and during the tribulation will likely be killed for their faith, but will live eternally with God in heaven. 8. My belief is that true Christians will be raptured prior to the 7-year tribulation. I also believe that Christians will see some of the early biblical wars prior to the rapture. We are reminded once again how volatile the Middle East is. The U.S. military just killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, and Iran retaliated by sending 15 missiles into Iraq aimed at the U.S. troops. Here are some names and places you have heard in the news recently: Hamas, Hezbollah, Sunni, Shiites, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Gaza, Golan Heights, Erdogan, Putin, nuclear bombs, Samson option, Netanyahu. Keep your eyes on Israel and its surrounding countries. God's plan includes the whole world, but focuses on Israel. These numbers speak loudly. There are approximately 330 million Muslims surrounding Israel and approximately 6.5 million Jews in Israel. Most Muslims want Israel wiped off the map and/or at least the Jews shoved into the Mediterranean Sea. Before we discuss the upcoming biblical wars, let's get a quick update on the New World Order, which includes one world religion, one world government, and one world currency. Here are some thoughts and news regarding one world religion. Regarding interfaithism, George W. Bush stated that Muslims, Jews, and Christians pray to the same God and all will be going to heaven. Obama pushed for interfaithism. Pope Francis is making a firm push for a one world religion and stated that Allah and Jehovah are the same. The Catholic Church claims salvation includes Muslims. In February 2019, Pope Francis called for Catholics, Muslims, and all believers to unite and work together. This paper was signed by the Pope and Sheikh Ahmad al-Tayeb. The World Council of Churches, which was formed in 1948, still pushes for a one world religion. The first Parliament of World Religions was held in 1893. There are two major religions on earth: Islam, 1.57 billion, and Christianity, 2.2 billion. The thrust is being made to combine these two into the United Nations of Religions. Pope Francis has been suggested to head up this effort. Now let's move on to a one world government. It is going to happen, and we can see the movement toward that end. The Bible talks about 4 previous Gentile empires: Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. A 5th and final empire is the future revived Roman Empire and will be taken over by the Antichrist, Daniel 7 verses 1 to 14 and Daniel 2 31 to 45. What is going on in the European Union today? By the way, the EU was formed in 1993 and I call it a reunified Germany. There are 28 member countries in the EU today. As we know, Great Britain is exercising Brexit at this time and is on the way out of the EU. Many agencies are already set up to allow for a one world government. This includes the World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund, World Trade Organization, and the United Nations. So where are we in the formation of the Confederacy of 10 Nations as stated in Daniel 7 verses 24 and 25? Keep your eyes open, check it out for yourself. Today the world is being reorganized into 10 super nations: North America, Western Europe, Japan, Australia and South Africa combined, Eastern Europe and Russia combined, Latin America, North Africa and the Middle East combined, Tropical Africa, Southeast Asia and India combined, and China. And now a look at one world currency. It is no secret that we are racing toward a one world currency. We now have over 1,000 virtual currencies or cryptocurrencies, some of which are Bitcoin 2009, Litecoins, PPCom, Ethereum, Zcash, Ripple, and Monero. There are over 140 currencies worldwide now, and the goal is to consolidate these down to one currency. The WOCU, World Currency Unit, was launched in 2009 to challenge the US dollar. The International Monetary Fund issued the SDR in 1969. The United Nations now touts the blockchain, which was made popular by Bitcoin. Facebook is looking into their own currency with Google and Rakuten following suit. It is time to jump into the biblical wars. This is exciting for me, and I hope that you will take a big interest in learning about these wars. A quick review is in order of 3 previous videos that you will find on the JourneyToFutureEvents.com website. Video number 4 is titled Overview of Israel and provides general information regarding Israel and the surrounding countries. Video number 5 is titled History and the Future Events of Israel and discusses the Promised Land and briefly mentions some of the upcoming biblical wars. Video 7 is titled Destruction of Damascus. I hope you have viewed the video. This is the point I want to begin the study of the end time wars, for I believe that the Isaiah 17 Damascus war is likely the first of many wars. The exception to this would be the Jeremiah 49 Iran nuclear war, and this will be discussed next. I need to make it very clear that no one knows but God the timing and sequence of these end time wars. We can know for sure that the wars will happen since they are so well spelled out in the Bible. I'm going to lay out the wars and events in sequence based on my study of the Bible and related materials. I've asked the Holy Spirit to lead me in this study and ask you to do the same as you dig into His Word. I would like to hear from you if you have differences in the timing that I am suggesting. So let's get started with the Isaiah 17 Damascus War. Please read Isaiah 17 and Jeremiah 49 verses 23 to 27. What is happening in Syria today? We find Turkey, Russia, Iran, remnants of ISIS, Kurds, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the U.S. involved. The Syrian Revolution began in 2011. Please note that Damascus is only 37 miles from the Golan Heights. By the way, Israel attacked a nuclear reactor in Syria back in 2007. A provocation will occur in which Syria attacks Israel. As a result, the Israeli Defense Force, IDF, will retaliate by exploding a nuclear bomb over Damascus. Damascus will be leveled in one night. As a result, damage will be done in northern Israel and northern Jordan, Amman. FYI, Israel operates by the Samson principle, by which they will unleash nuclear bombs as the last-ditch effort to save themselves. As I mentioned prior, there is another biblical war, Jeremiah 49 Iran nuclear war, that could be the first war. Let me explain. As we know, Iran wants a bomb and continues to this day to produce enough uranium-235 or plutonium-239 to make the bomb. When they succeed, Iran will upset the entire Middle East war structure. Did you know that the U.S. gave the Shah of Iran a small research reactor back in 1967? Today, Iran wants to destroy the big Satan, the United States, and the little Satan, Israel. Iran has a nuclear power plant located in ancient Elam, which comprises 1/5 of modern Iran. Please read the details in Jeremiah 49 verses 34 to 39. Israel will not let Iran produce a bomb and therefore will make a preemptive strike against their facilities. This will break the bow of Elam according to the scriptures. The Israeli IDF is victorious in this war. In fact, the Bible tells us that God sets his throne in Elam. Which of these two wars comes first, Isaiah 17 or Jeremiah 49? Here's my take on this. If Israel makes a preemptive strike against a nuclear power plant in Iran, it could lead to Syria attacking Israel. What is the connection? Iran would use their Hezbollah and Hamas proxies in Syria to attack. I want to look at 3 more wars that the Bible states will happen and that I believe will happen just prior to or at the beginning of the Psalm 83 war. Isaiah 19, Egypt war. Please read Isaiah 19 verses 1 to 18 and Ezekiel 29 and 30. Egypt and Israel signed a peace treaty in 1979. We read that Egypt attacks Israel and is soundly defeated. I believe that Israel will use a nuclear bomb to blow up the Aswan Dam, and radioactive water will make Egypt uninhabitable for 40 years. Northeast African countries of Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan, Libya will also be affected during this war. Please refer to the Tower of Syene, the Aswan Dam, found in Ezekiel. The Jeremiah 49 Jordan War. Please read Jeremiah 49 verses 1 to 6 and Zephaniah 2 verses 8 and 10. Jordan and Israel signed a peace treaty in 1994. As we know, Israel allows the Jordan WAQF to control the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, and that has been a disaster. In looking at the scriptures, Jordan is guilty of enlarging their borders within the Promised Land. Ezekiel 27 Lebanon War. As we hear often in the news, Hezbollah controls southern Lebanon and its borders with Israel. Hezbollah is notorious in digging tunnels into Israel and causing trouble. The destruction of Tyre, Lebanon, is found in Ezekiel 27. We will end this video by discussing the Psalm 83 war. This is a huge war that includes all the countries immediately surrounding Israel. Who is involved? Take a look at this map. The tents of Edom, Palestinians and southern Jordan, Ishmaelites, Saudi Arabia, Moab, Palestinians and central Jordan, Hagarenes, the Egyptians, Gebal, Hezbollah and northern Lebanon, Amman, Palestinians and northern Jordan. Amalek, the Arabs of Sinai. Philistia, Hamas in Gaza. Tyre, Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Assyria, Syria and northern Iraq. Why this war? The Arabs want to eliminate the Jewish state and create Palestine. All of these countries have their boundaries within the promised land that God gave to Israel. Israel and the IDF are victorious in this war and get the promised land back. Please see the map. The expansion of Israel is found in Obadiah 1 verses 19 to 20, Zephaniah 2 verse 9, Jeremiah 49 verse 2, and Isaiah 19 verse 18. Israel goes from the 8,630 square miles today to approximately 65,000 square miles. During this war, Israel will establish 2 prisoner of war camps, one in Lebanon and one in the Negev. It is very likely that the IDF will blow up the Dome of the Rock, and this will lead to plans for the Jewish Third Temple. Israel becomes larger, feels much safer, and becomes wealthier. In fact, Isaiah 34 tells us about the Basra oil field reserves that have not been tapped yet. This video is presented from a pre-trib rapture perspective. I believe the rapture will occur during or just after the Psalm 83 war. This marks the end of the church age. At the rapture, all believers will meet Jesus in midair. The Holy Spirit, as the restrainer, will be taken up. As we will discuss in the next video, the rapture launches the career of the Antichrist, 2 Thessalonians 2. After the rapture, an undetermined period of time elapses up until the beginning of the 7-year tribulation. Here are some events that will happen during this period of time. The political and economic revived Roman Empire is in place. The 10 kings or world rulers will make up a global consortium, and they are exerting their power, Revelation 18. The rise of religious Babylon, Revelation 17, mother of harlots and her harlot daughters, which make up the one world religion, is taking control and making herself felt throughout the world. Death and Hades represent the harlot world religion, Revelation 6 verse 8. At least 5 seals are opened during this time frame, Revelation 6 verses 1 through 11. The Ezekiel 38-39 war begins at least 3.5 years prior to the tribulation and ends at the midpoint of the 7-year tribulation. This is known as Third World War. I pray that you are a born-again believer and you will be a participant in the rapture. We will continue with more biblical wars in part 2 of this series. See you then.